and we're under caution for the third time tonight.
This is ARCA, a racing series mostly reserved for hobbyists, up-and-comers, and multimillionaires who get sick kicks from beating on local mechanics. It used to be its own thing, until NASCAR came along and politely placed it at the bottom of the National Series hierarchy. In baseball terms, it's the Bush League to the Bush League to the Bush League, the lowest you can go while still being on a national stage. As such, the viewership ain't great. I mean, it's been bad across the board, but more so with ARCA, on average garnering a tenth of the viewership of its Cup Series counterpart. Though this year, there's been a big noteworthy exception. The Ride the Dente 200, the season opener at Daytona, received over 1 million live viewers, making it the most watched iteration of the race since 2013. They even had a bigger audience than the Truck Series race the night before. So what gives? I mean, the race itself was kinda ass. The cars were unstable, yet you still somehow couldn't pass.
How long is this going to take?
No, the real reason that so many people subjected themselves to this buffoonery was because of one particular buffoon, a man continuing to make a name for himself. And the craziest part, it isn't even his real name. Hell yeah, brother. You're on the Elly Productions YouTube channel. Okay, so don't let the intro fool you. I haven't actually seen a lot of his videos. I vaguely remembered the Dale Trucks saga, but other than that, for one reason or another, me and old Cletus haven't crossed paths on the digital plane. But in researching for this video, I wish we had, because he is far and away one of the most entertaining and interesting characters in automotive media. He's like if Mr. Beast was a gearhead, and more American. And wasn't a sociopath. Before he donned the sleeveless tee, Garrett Mitchell, which somehow sounds whiter than Cletus McFarland, was just a kid with a penchant for cars. His dad was an auto detailer, so it was only natural that young Garrett would take interest too. And in his mid-teens, that interest took the form of a white Subaru STI. While out on his daily drive, said STI caught the eye of a man from a local production house, and blah blah blah, long story short, although if you want to hear that story, here it is, check it out. Garrett made his first splash as a YouTuber for 1320 Video, spending most of his teens shooting car meets and events all across the country. Most of the time he was behind the camera until a random summer night in 2015, when, outside of his hotel in Pueblo, Colorado, Garrett and his friend Kyle decided to shoot a quick flick, and for once the car wasn't the star.
We're here with Cletus McFarland,
Yep.
and you're 1969.
Yep, it's a big block Chevrolet engine. I'm a big Chevy fan. God damn, I love America.
Overnight, Cletus McFarland became an internet icon, and it wasn't too long before he split off to make his own videos. Through his escapades in off-the-wall mods and drag racing a glorified go-kart that eventually broke a world record, Mitchell, or McFarland, took a silly persona and turned it into a thriving business. Actually, multiple. He currently owns some parts manufacturers, a small airport, and a short track fittingly named the Freedom Factory, home of the fittingly named Freedom 500, a race composed entirely of Ford Crown Victorias. Yes, it's as awesome as it sounds. The biggest thing I noticed when perusing McFarland's library is that as the videos got newer, the thick southern drawl started to slip away. After a while, it was no longer an act. He became Cletus McFarland, so much so that I'm surprised they used his real name on this scorebook. But that begs the question, how did a kid who first showed up to a car meet in a stock Subaru go on to become a legit race car driver?
As we come on the air right now, Category 4 Hurricane Helene powering its way ashore on Florida's iconic Big Bend region. Forecasters have warned it could gain even more strength before official landfall just a few hours from now.
About a year ago, Hurricane Helene ripped across the east coast of North America, regarded as the deadliest hurricane to strike the U.S. mainland in nearly 20 years. With infrastructure turned obsolete and roads damaged or blocked, thousands of people were trapped without food, water, or supplies, leading local do-gooders to take to the skies and lend a helping hand. One of those hands was Cleats, and another was Greg Biffles, a hand that has wheeled its way to many, many wins in the NASCAR Cup Series. The two had already met at another Crown Vic race earlier in the year, but their conjoined effort to shuttle people and supplies not only saved lives, but formed a friendship and an opportunity. For the Biff, a chance to return to the limelight, joining Cletus's crew and even becoming a YouTuber himself.
You're watching the Biff's YouTube channel.
And for Cletus, it was a chance to live out a dream. While staying with Greg in between rescues, he mentioned that he always wanted to run the Daytona 500, which, for someone who hadn't really done much besides drag racing, is a bit far-fetched. So Greg proposed that he start in the lower division. Lower. Lower. There it is. Just a few months later, he struck a deal to drive the same car that Malcolm in the Middle star Frankie Muniz drove in his first start, and in true Cletus McFarland fashion, in his very first test session, he got put on probation for the whole year for having his own camera in the car, something you're not allowed to have for fear of spying on other teams. Thankfully, he was still eligible for the season opener, and with coaches Biffle and Max Pappas in his corner, he made the race with a 27th place qualifying effort. Now, I might not know Cletus that well, but I do know racing, and for someone with no prior speedway experience, he held a pretty wheel at both Daytona and Talladega. It's a shame that the same car had to wipe him out twice in Tona, and that his motor had one too many bush lights the night before in Dega. As for Charlotte, all I'm gonna say is, poor Isabella. Also, giving the pace car a love tap while you're already on probation is a hell of a flex. This video is being written before Bristol, so hopefully he does okay there too, but all in all, so far, I'd give Garrett Lawrence Cletus McFarland Mitchell a 6 out of 10 as a driver.
Sorry, guys.
He's the new kid on the block, not driving the best car, certainly has a lot to learn, but he's not just some token influencer wanting to go fast. He's shown a genuine respect for the sport, and even if the main goal is to turn it into content, he clearly has respect for his competitors too.
Yeah, I want to start off by apologizing to the team that I took out. I feel terrible about that. You know, every time I go racing, I don't want to get taken out.
So yeah, I'd say he has a place in NASCAR, though even if he didn't, it's not like it would make much difference. We've already discussed ad nauseum about how stardom in racing isn't so much about what you can do, but rather who you are. Your name, your gender, your social standing, it all plays into what you can bring to the team, not the other way around. And Cletus McFarland is one hell of a name. I mean, would this Instagram post from Rhett Jones Racing have this many likes if a certain someone wasn't behind the wheel? I don't think so. There is an undeniable benefit to acquiring star power, and NASCAR has been milking it for everything it's worth. Of course, Cleet's own view counts are in the millions, but did you know that as of right now, NASCAR's 60th, 47th, and 34th most popular videos all time are just interviews with Cletus? Nestled between timeless, storybook, physics-defying moments is just a guy, albeit a pretty goofy guy.
Well, I was having the best day of my life, ripping around Daytona like a bald eagle.
Some people might see the suit and hear the voice and think of him as a caricature, the likes of Drewski, not getting into that. But I see him more as a callback to the likes of, say, Curtis Turner, NASCAR's original most popular driver. Both entrepreneurs, both hellraisers, and both cursed with a constant obsession with going fast, I'd say it's a fair comparison. But their most striking similarity is their allure. Just Turner's name being on the entry list was enough to sell out every single seat. Hell, his return to NASCAR in 1965 may have single-handedly saved the sport. And while Cleater isn't having the same effect literally, he is having an effect. In judging these videos by just their view counts, can you tell which ones feature him? Whether you like it or not, star power is essential to putting eyes on the product, sometimes for better and sometimes for worse. No matter what you thought of Curtis or what you think of Cletus, they've brought some much-needed excitement. And in the case of Cleet and his many, many fans, a fresh perspective.
They love two things. That's moves and turning left. You know what I mean?
From the bald eagles to the big-ass motors, everything about Cletus McFarland's brand oozes red, white, and blue. Though I don't think he ever considered representing something so American as the American dream. The idea that everyone can take control of their own destiny and be who they want to be. It's a concept that most would say is completely dead in the modern day. And that holds true for racing too. One of the most prevailing sentiments in NASCAR today is how many of the sport's headliners don't come from humble origins like their predecessors, and thus lack the intrigue. The sad fact is that most of them come from money, and in the words of Bubba Wallace, but Cletus didn't come from money. He earned his through creativity and persistence, and now with hundreds of employees and millions of fans standing behind him, it's starting to seem like there's nothing he can't do. As a fellow YouTuber with a slightly smaller following, it's exciting to think that these things, while far-fetched, are possible for us to do. Without the internet, without this platform, none of this could happen. And maybe, in an alternate world, Garrett stays in law school and nobody knows the name Cletus McFarland. Thank God that didn't happen.
God damn, I love America.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed. Just a reminder that you can still get your name on the bed of the number 69 truck running in Talladega on October 17th. All you have to do is donate $25 to the GoFundMe link in the description. We're also still accepting entries on our free giveaway. Just like, comment, and tag a friend on either of these posts from Tyler Tomasi, and you could win one of these cool prizes. Just look at them rock back and forth. Winners will be announced in a live stream on September 23rd, so be there or be silly. Also, you can still get 25% off on high-quality men's clothing by using my code Elly25 on kufandy.com. Do it for Dale, and I think that's it. Okay, bye.